Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. What's going on? What's going on? Let's get started. Um, do you guys like the background? Let me know if you like the background. We're trying to work on the background. I ordered a backdrop. It's actually smaller than I thought, so but we're gonna manage it. I wanted to switch things up a little bit. Welcome. This is from data to deals. We're talking about from data to deals. I do have some update for you guys today. Let's have some fun. If you're watching me on Facebook, please make sure you share. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you share to the rest of the world. Let them know we're hanging out here. And if you're watching on YouTube, absolutely please subscribe and make sure you give it a thumbs up. I've got a lot of updates to share with you today, and I'm just hoping that I'll be able to touch everything. All right. Let's see here. By the way, today's goal is 5. So let's get to it. Yesterday we had 10. That was a lot of fun that I had yesterday. Yesterday we covered a lot of information about search engine optimization and how it applies to the business of real estate investing and the business of real estate wholesaling. So we covered a lot on that. Today I have some concepts to share with you. We will dive into the software. Absolutely, we have to do that today, especially that I have some updates for you on comparables and some nuances and things like that that you need to understand when you're dealing with this marketplace. One, you don't want to show up to a cash buyer or a buyer like a novice. You want to have your ducks all up in a row before you start talking to them. As much as possible, you should know. And if there's anything, so you don't want to be calling the cash buyer and then they say how many bedrooms and you don't have that. Make sure you have that. How many is the basement finished? Like basic things. Does he have a garage? You want to make sure you have those things in place before you're talking to people. Now, those are basic, but believe it or not, there are people that make that mistake. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm going to share right now. Let's go ahead and share what we're doing up here. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and share with the rest of the world. Let them know we're hanging out here. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. For those of you that are giving it, thank you. Thank you. So like I said, I got a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest today with regards to this marketplace. I took notes. So I came ready. So, but you need to have access to, you need to get this information I'm going to share today. Now, you can come back and watch it later if you're guaranteed, you can guarantee yourself that you're going to be able to come back and make sure you come back. If you can do that, sure. But if you're like most people, you want to stick around for the next few minutes and get that information, okay? Let's just make sure that we're live. If you can hear me, by the way, there's a good chance I probably have been talking to myself. Make sure that, let's see. Okay, we're good. Audio sounds good. Let's see, what else do I need to do here? So if you're plugging in, introduce yourself. That's just, it's polite to do. Introduce yourself. Let me know that you're hanging out with us and you're watching. Like I said, from deals to data, from data to deals, there's a lot of stuff that happen in between, and you need to be prepared. Now you're not going to completely always be ready, prepared to go. There are going to be times that some things are not ready, but that's the more reason why you have to try to be as ready as humanly possible. So I got a couple of things I wanted to share with you with regards to this business. This business is a little tricky when you're not prepared. It's a great opportunity, but opportunities are meaningless when it doesn't meet preparedness. So you have to make sure you're prepared as much as you can be. That doesn't mean 100%, doesn't mean perfect. But that's the fact that you cannot be perfect is the more reason why you need to be as prepared as you can be. Does that make sense? All right. So some of you just dropping in. Do you like the background? If you like the background, let me know. If you want me to switch it back to what it was before, let me know. Actually, this background is too small. You can look on the edge over there. You can see that it's too small. So I need to order something bigger. And you can go to this corner. You see that corner of it right there. So I'm going to need to order another backdrop. I just wanted to keep it plain. That way we can do whatever we want with it long term. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. Okay. So the first thing I want to drop in today on you is, people ask me all the time, how many text messages do I need to send before I can get a deal, before I can catch a deal? That question is an ultimatum on yourself. I always say it, if you've been following me for a while, don't give yourself an ultimatum. This business works. That's the bottom line. Okay. I will tell you, just have a minimum of $100 to spend per month on whatever you want to spend it on, and make sure you're consistent. Making sure you're consistent is not a thing. You got to create a system and put a system in place that will enforce you to be consistent, because you're human like the rest of us. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now, at some point, obviously, the more traffic, the more people that are looking at what you have to offer, the higher the chances you're going to nail a deal, right? It just makes sense, right? So, but more important, there's something more important than traffic, than the amount of text messages you're sending out. There's something a lot more important than that, and that's momentum. Okay. Now, momentum does not, like, no business starts with momentum. If your business starts with the momentum, it's kind of like an airplane starting off and just going straight up. It's going to crash, right? So in order for you to create a sustainable growth in your business, it's actually better to go slowly, surely but slowly, and then start taking off. Okay. Because what happens during that time that it seems slow, is that you're learning some skill set that you're going to apply once you have some momentum going on. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make is that they don't know how to apply the momentum they're getting back into their business. All right. And what do I mean by that? A lead was generated yesterday, but you're like, no, I got to go after more 300 leads today. And then you miss out on digging deeper into a relationship with the lead that already responded to you. Sometimes it's in the form of just writing things down and making sure you get back to people by helping them and writing them down in your calendar. There's a guy that actually, we haven't spoken in a while right now, but it was one of my mentors that he was very good at that. He will write down as far as birthdays of clients and stuff like that, and he will remember, send them a text message on the day off. Like, he uses CRM obviously for that, but these are very important things that allow you to. But back to business as usual, I'm talking just follow up. Like, of course, you need a consistent generation of leads coming into your business. You need to be reaching out to people, okay? But you should also be making sure you have follow-up in your business. That's how you have traffic and momentum at the same time. You got to have traffic, you got to have momentum. If you don't have that, you will not build on top of momentum. So have you ever heard the word in a business before, doubling down, right? Doubling down on something that already works is the way to build momentum in your business. You will need momentum. Just straight out, just outreach, front end cold traffic outreach, it's not going to be enough. You're going to get tired. But once people start responding, which usually you've actually put in some work, you want to make sure that you are capitalizing on the fact that they have responded to you. Okay. Does that make sense? So there's another thing, in YouTube, SEO, online traffic world, there's something called browse traffic. Okay. There's browse traffic, there is search traffic, and there is suggest traffic. Okay. The same thing is applicable in your real estate wholesaling business. What is real estate wholesaling, right? You find deeply discounted properties. How do you find that? You have to target marketing. We buy houses at people that are potentially open to selling you a property at a discount. So you need deeply discounted properties. They don't fall out of the skies. They come from people, and that's usually distressed homeowners. Okay, so there's something called distress list. We'll talk about that here. I show you the examples and stuff like that. And distressed homeowners are essentially people facing pre-foreclosures, tax lien delinquencies, divorce, unwanted inheritances, things like that. A real reason why somebody needs to get rid of a property, right? Not just because they want to sell. There are many people that want to sell, and when all they want is just to sell, then they want the highest amount of money than the market can command, right? And that's not how you make money. You make money by buying low, right? You make money from buying low, not when you sell, not when you sell at all. It doesn't matter if you're selling high or low. You make that money when you're buying. Does that make sense? So with that being said, there's browse traffic, right? So how do you attract these people? Either they're browsing on the internet. So for some of you that say, what about Facebook marketing? Well, you're essentially hoping that all of this browse traffic, people that are busy browsing on Facebook, you're hoping that they will have a property somewhere that they need to sell. Okay, so it's a lot of numbers of people that has to see your ad, your marketing message, before you can hit a person that has a house first, and then it has a house that they need to get rid of, deep discount, right? Before you can do a deal, right? So there's a place for that in your journey, okay? And that place is when you have a healthy budget, and after you've made sure you've done proper allocation of your marketing resources to distress the list first. Is that making sense? Is that making sense, guys? So you want to make sure that you're doing proper allocation. After you've done that and there's nowhere and you still got some more money left for marketing, and then you can now say, okay, let's expand out to a bigger sector of the market. Everything I'm describing right now is called a funnel. So there's a funnel. I'm going to describe that funnel for you here in a second before we dive in through the software. All right. By the way, if you haven't gotten your access to the software, you can get that at empirepbigdata.com. All right. So let's continue here. All right. So we have browse traffic, we have suggest traffic, and we have search traffic. Browse traffic is somebody just hanging out on the internet, and then they see your ad. It says we buy houses. It makes sense, right? There's also offline. You can describe a bandit sign on the side of the street. You can describe that as a browse traffic, but they're not exactly browsing. Plus, the cost of bandit signs is not the same thing as Facebook marketing. Facebook will eat up your money if you don't have proper expectation with regards to Facebook marketing. So you want to make sure you have proper expectation, and you want to make sure you're targeting the right way when you're doing that. Browse traffic is, when it comes to online, I'm just going to say, leave that to the side. You'll get to it when you get to it. Search traffic is somebody who actually has a problem right now. Okay. So I was listening to a video by my friend, Neil Patel. Okay. And Neil Patel was talking about the WHIP, as in WHIP, WHIP. I'm going to share that with you. It's very applicable here, right? The WHIP stands for window shopping. Okay, you can type it into if you're hearing me clearly, you can type it into the comments so I can put it on the screen. Okay, window shopping. Those are your ideal. I'm talking about your prospect, the different type of prospect you're going to have, right? We know we're looking for motivated sellers, right? But how you target them can make all the difference in your journey. Okay, so there's the WHIP. Okay, the WHIP stands for window shopping, right? That's a person that's not necessarily having a property they're not thinking. They may have a property somewhere, but they're not thinking about it, right? Or they know someone that has a property, right? Or they saw a message, we buy houses, and they're curious because they were always looking at real estate and stuff like that, right? And then they came by your website, they came by your card site, and they look at it, they look a little closer, they Google your name. They're not really looking to do business, all right? You're going to have people like that come across your marketing from time to time. The other one is H, which stands for help me. That's a person that actually has a problem and they're searching for a solution right now, okay? I've said this in a bit of a different way over the past few days. I have another video where I touched on, someone looking for a solution to a problem, someone looking for an answer to a question, someone that has a pain point and they need to replace that pain with pleasure. That's going to be replaced. You don't just remove pain, right? It needs to be replaced with something, because as human beings, we hate vacuum, just like nature. Okay. All right. That's something I learned from Robert Greene. We hate vacuum, just like nature itself. So something must be replaced. That's why the idea of I'm gonna be consistent without putting the system in place is a lie from the pits of hell. You're human like the rest of us. One of the hardest things for us to do is to be consistent. So you're not just gonna wake up and be consistent one day. You got to put yourself in that position where it's easier to be consistent. So help me is the next one. The next one is inform me. That's somebody that has a property. They're not necessarily in a problem, but they're looking for what to do with the property. The property is laying down there. It's eating up property taxes every year, and it's vacant. They don't know what to do with it, right? That's another audience that you can serve. And that audience can turn to help me. Help me is like that instant money. You can help them, you can make money. Does that make sense? Inform me is like, oh, I'm looking for more information about real estate and selling real estate. What's the best way to sell my property? Should I sell it for cash? Should I stage it? Should I upgrade the kitchen or the bathroom? Those are all traffic that you can find useful. So where you allocate your marketing resources in the whip, right? It's very, very important. I learned it from Neil Patel, and I thought it was a fantastic one. The fourth one is the P, which stands for persuade me, right? That's a person that kind of knows, they know, it's a person that knows what they want already, and they're kind of like waiting for you to convince them. They need that conviction that you're the person to work with. So they're kind of close to window shopping, but not really, because they're not just window shopping. They're not just looking. They're looking to buy. It's two different things. They're looking to sign their contract and sign this property over to someone, but they're looking for not money, because some of them are looking for more money, right? You don't, you want to make sure you're not getting in trouble with that. But I'm talking about a person that already know that they need to get rid of this, but they're looking for the conviction that you're the right person to work with. So all of this stuff, you're going to have be prepared for any one of this four different types of people. You have to be prepared on how you would answer, because they have a different way that they ask these different questions. All right. So now back to search traffic. Search is someone looking for solution right now, looking for answers right now, right? A person that's window shopping could be looking as well, right? But that's still search. But there could also be, it's more like window shopping is more like browsing. Okay, that's more like browsing. Suggested is when somebody refers somebody else to you. So that's another form of traffic into your business. Traffic of people into your business. That's somebody that was suggested by another person on the internet. If you were on YouTube, you will see, like right now, you're probably seeing videos right below my video that's been suggested by YouTube, right? And that's called suggested traffic. So that's the algorithms that's doing that. But in real life, in your business, you're going to have that depending on how good you are at building relationships with the people you're doing business with as you're going along. So you may think, I haven't closed the deal. Am I doing business already? Yes, you are. It's about the conversations you're having. It's about always leading with value. How do you lead with value? You need to, first of all, see how you can serve the person you're talking to. You don't want to be too quick to talking. You want to say, hey, how may I help you? You want to say, well, what do you think about this? You want to provoke questions. You want them to ask you questions. So even if they're not asking questions, you want to be good at provoking them to ask you questions. And if you can't do that, you're probably just in front of the wrong audience, okay? But that's suggested traffic. So browse traffic, suggested traffic. The best one is search traffic, a person that's searching right now, okay? So a person that's searching right now in real estate wholesaling is a little bit tricky, because the only way they can search is go on Google. And like I said yesterday, which is a whole episode showing you what's possible in the search engine optimization place, right? That's the person that's searching. But if you're not ready for doing SEO yet, how do you tap into that? The closest way to tap into that is to pull a list of people on these records that I've been showing you, and we're going to try to do that today. In the next few minutes, we're going to get started. You want to make sure you tap into people that are searching already, or at the very minimum, you know for a fact that they have these problems. Okay, you want to know using the data as prop stream, empirebigdata.com. You want to be able to know that as far as you know for a fact, this person has a reason why they need to sell, so that when you reach out to them, you're just saying, I'm willing to put an offer on your property. You're just talking. You don't want to be creepy and tell them you know their problems, but you know, based on public records, that there's a good chance that they may be open to selling. All right. So now there's something I call so the algorithms in internet land is basically algorithms. When you watch enough of my videos, YouTube use AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to suggest more of my videos for you. That's just the way it works. Okay. But it says machine learning, but because people act like that already, when people see your information, your marketing message over and over. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to post that on the screen. Thank you so much, Krishana. I appreciate that. All right. So when people see your brand in front of them all the time, and you come to mind every time they think real estate, that's the best. And that's why every other day, as you're regular, you're posting on Instagram and you're doing your thing, you want to be able to say, please let me know if you find any houses for sale. I am open to buy houses. You can do that if you want, if you know you're very active on Instagram. If it's not a place where you're active, don't do that. Focus on data generating leads. Okay, data, contact, generate leads, contract, and deals. All right, that's it, right? So as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to adjust the stages, okay, so that we can be very clear on that for those of you that need to really get that, because I've had a few questions that came in and say, so where's contract? Well, contract is between leads and deals, okay? So there are, let's just say right now, let's adjust 5 stages: data, contract, leads, contract, okay, contact, contract, and deals. Okay, let me repeat that. Data, okay, data, contact, leads, contract, and deals. Those are the stages that you need to get through to get to a deal, and you need to understand each one of those stages. And you don't need to worry about deals unless you figure out data first. You don't need to worry about contract unless you figure out contact, how to contact people first. All right. So algorithms and relationship, you can call it synonymous, okay, when it comes to this business, okay? The chance, make sure you if you can still hear me, please let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. I see like flashback in and out and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that you can still hear me. If you can still hear me, let me know. It looks like we're back on. Okay, so a lot of stuff is acting up. A lot of stuff is acting up. Okay, let me just let you know, because there's a big traffic online, obviously, because of everyone staying at home and things like that. All right, let's see here. All right, so you can hear me, right? Can you still hear me? If you can hear me, let me know that you can still hear me so we can get started. So, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to continue. It looks like you can still hear me. As a matter of fact, there's a news that I just saw just before we jump on today with regards to all of this stuff. Zoom is now worth $48 billion, and that's more than all of the top airlines combined together. If you want, go to once we're done here, go to my Instagram, iTalksB, and go look at a video that I uploaded. There is a 1 minute video out there uh, explaining that. But let's get back to what I was saying anyway. So algorithms and relationships, as far as you're concerned, those two things go hand in hand. Okay, algorithms and relationship. You start building relationship with people. You follow up with people. You don't follow up with them just because you're looking for deals. You're saying, "Hey, how's it going? What's going on with the property?" It depends on your tone. Of course, I'm still gonna asking about the property, but it's how I say it. Is that making sense? All right. So there's something called motivation funnel, and I wanted to share that with you. Motivation funnel, and let me explain to you. Motivation funnel is basically the whole population, the city that you want to target, and then you shrink it down, you shrink it down to the sweet spot. Now you don't want to shrink it down too much, right? Like I said, you should have at least $100 to spend in reaching out to potential homeowners that will want to sell. That means distressed list. High equity is basically right next to the whole city. Okay, you might as well just target the whole city if you're going to target high equity. These people own properties free and clear, and they're not necessarily thinking about selling. Okay, they're not necessarily thinking about selling, but they're on the list, public records, just like every property in your city, right? So you have the whole city. That's the top of the funnel, right? And then you have all homeowners, right? And then you have all high equity, meaning free and clear properties, right? And then you have all foreclosures, right? And then you can start shrinking it down like that. And then you have what I call pre-foreclosure plus vacant properties plus high equity plus KLT. That's the best list to actually target. What do I mean by KLT? KLT stands for know, like, and trust. When people have seen your brand, your name, your very being long enough, they start with knowing you, and then they like you if you're there to help them, if you're answering their questions, if you relax, and it's not just about the next deal, it's about the next relationship, right? Then you build trust, right? Because trust is a byproduct of giving value, right? Just like respect, right? So that's a byproduct, right? So trust and respect is a byproduct. Brand building, personal brand is a byproduct of helping people. So if you're helping people, if you're helping enough people, either by way of content or reaching out and checking on them and saying, "Hey, how's the property going?" Even after if you close a deal and they bought a property from you, you want to maintain these relationships, because again, that's essentially your own little algorithms in your own right. So the very bottom of that list is not the bottom all the way, but somewhere close to the bottom is the niche that you need to be at, and it needs to align with KLT. Now, the people you are reaching out for the first time to, they're not going to know you, but that's how they get to know you. But you want to make sure you maintain relationship with the leads you're generating. Data, contact, leads. When you generate a lead, store their information in a nice CRM where you can continue to share value with them, okay? Because it's the next best thing to slice bread. Does that make sense? So yes, in the beginning, when you're doing your first outreach, you have pre-foreclosure, vacant properties, owners occupied, that's the OC, right? And then you have the KLT, non-owner occupied, rather, non-owner occupied, if that data is available in the city you're targeting, because sometimes that data is a little bit off, or it's too tight, or it's too small, right? So you want to come back up a little bit. But what you never want to do, which I see even agents should know this, what you never want to do is go to the top of the funnel, like the whole population let me just send out digital marketing to them. Don't do that, especially if it's costing money. Now, if it's just bandit sign and you put it on the sign, I wouldn't even do that these days because they pull them down so quick, right? There are better ways to market than to do that, right? Then I wouldn't go to the whole city, right? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't just go target all of high equity. Again, it's too many people that just are not open to selling to you, right? All right, guys, we're two thumbs ups away from hitting the goal today. 2 thumbs up. Give us those 2 thumbs up on YouTube if you're there. Thank you so much. All right. So there's a guy called Alex Jungblood. Jungblood is from Wholesaling Houses Full Time. Okay. There's something he called lead prioritization. Okay. That's essentially what I'm sharing with you. Okay. Lead prioritization, that's a term I got from him earlier today. You want to make sure you're prioritizing who you're reaching out to. Okay. You want to make sure you're doing that. Everybody wants retail. That's not necessary. That's not true. Okay. The reason why you've been talking to people that want retail is probably you're wasting too much time with the top of the funnel. Okay. If you're wasting time, if you just target all vacant properties, that's not going to work in your favor either. You need to narrow that down quite a bit, right? And then go to the next county over and over. I shared this earlier in the series. Okay. So no, not everybody wants retail. Most people want retail. So listen, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? But it's actually very simple. Just don't waste your time with non-motivated seller. If somebody sounds like they're looking for retail, tell them you check back in next month. Say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm an investor. I need to make money while I'm doing this. But there's something that I wanted to also stress in. And he mentioned that on his other video. You could check him out. Just once we're done, you can go Google Wholesaling Houses Full Time. And he has some cool stuff up there. But basically, if you don't know the when and the why they want to sell, you really don't need to continue the conversation right now. You should maintain relationship, right? By following up next month. Maybe then they can tell you when and why they need to sell. If you don't know those 2 pieces of information, when and why, there's really no real reason to continue the conversation. And they may have just turned you up and say, then also you may have a situation where somebody say, you called me, give me an offer. You're the one that called me, you give me an offer. You're going to have people like that sometimes. Just understand that you don't have to have that deal right now, maybe never, okay? But keep in mind, there's a pipeline that you're building. You got to keep that pipeline mindset. The longer you spend with the wrong person, the longer you spend away from the right people. This is marketing, okay? It's a numbers game. It is marketing, okay? All right, so yeah, and sometimes it will feel like maybe you're losing out, and that makes you want to talk to that person and beg them, and don't do it. If you beg, you're going to push them away further and further, and you're killing the relationship you can maintain and call them back next month. So again, as you're doing outreach, it may feel like you're not hitting your first deal, but you are, because you're just another relationship closer. So just make sure that, oh, okay, that's understandable. Do you have anybody else that have something else to sell right now? Oh, no. Okay, no problem. I'll follow up with you again next month. I'm hoping, I really like that house. I wanted to see if I can put an offer on it. Okay, just, yeah, sure, follow up with me. Or they may even come out straight and tell, no, you follow up with me in 3 months, right? Because they may be in the middle of pandemics and say, no, I'm not selling right now, or for whatever reason. Just, again, you want to flow with them as they are but I wanted to stress today that you're collecting data. You're just another piece of data closer to your deal. You're collecting leads. You're just another relationship closer to your deal, okay? And you want to nurture each one of them. If a person says no, or they're negative and nasty, you need to run far away from them. You don't want to get into a game of having to justify anything. If you have to justify, it's all wrong already. It's just wrong, okay? All right. So with that being said, those are the updates that I have for you today. Let's go ahead and play around the software. Today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how to generate comps. Okay. So what I want to do, if you have an address off the top of your head, I don't know where you live or anything like that, not your house address, but some address that post that in the comment area. I want to pull comparables for it, and I want to use that as a practice together with us. I want to show you how to assess comparables, how to come up with after repair value. So right now, if you post that right now, that would be lovely. If you don't, then I will be forced to have to go pull one out of data. Post an actual address in some city. So I need the street address, I need the street name, and I need the city and the state. Okay, that's what I need. So go ahead and post that right now, and then we can get started. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you. If you're watching me, wherever you're watching me, thank you. Go ahead and post an address that I can pull up comparables. I just want to show you how to pull comparables, because sometimes it's not as straightforward as, even for me. Sometimes, like for example, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a particular property I'm looking at. I just couldn't give you the address right now. That's why I couldn't use it. And it was a property we were looking at before pandemic, and the young lady, I agreed to a price, but that price is no longer good because of everything that's going on, and obviously that's like 2 months ago right now or more. And at the time, we're looking at a had a level to the property. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you. I'm going to use that. All right. At the time, we're looking at a had a level, which is like a Cape Cod. You scrape off the top, the attic, and then you put another level, right? So that's what we're looking at the time. But now, most of the investors don't want to do any kind of high risk project, right? They want to just be in and they want to be out. That's what most people are looking to do right now. Okay. So yeah, we're going to use that. Okay. That's what most people are looking to do right now. Just in and out type of deal, not so risky. The comparables has to make sense upfront. If it's not making sense, like quick, then we got a problem. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and share the screen with you. Let's share screen. Let's have some fun with this one. Thank you so much for that, Ricky. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. All right, here we go. 626 RHEA 620 rear, I guess. RHEA. Let me see. RHEA lane. Looks like there's a couple of properties similar to that somewhere else. Pensacola. Pensacola. Oh, there you go. Came right up. All right. So let's look at that. Let's look at this property. I see water. Okay. Okay. So what kind of property is this? It's a single family residential. Okay. Let me click into this. Let me see if I see more pictures. There's 48 pictures. Interesting. Okay. That's a beautiful property. I'm not going to ask you the story about this property. Let's just look at comparables, because just in case, let's keep some stuff secret about it. All right, so let's see. It's a beautiful property. All right, so let's look at this. All right, so where you go, once you type in the property like that, in that area, we're showing 69 properties on the MLS. That's too small. That market is too slow for me, for my liking. Pre-foreclosures 39, again, too slow. I like to see 4 digits in all of this, but who knows? There's one auction in that area. 6 foreclosures. There are at least 1,000. That's 4 digits cash buyers, but that's all the way into the past. So I wonder what kind of area is this? 360. Let me zoom out. Let's see how far from. Oh, see, right next to the Gulf. Okay. So let's, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click details. Okay. This is how I look at comparables. All right. So you can see here, I don't see a pre-foreclosure tab. So if I don't see a pre-foreclosure tab, for me personally, this would be a subject property. I don't want to deal with. I don't see a pre-foreclosure. I don't see liens. Okay, I guess there's a mortgage information here. It's financed loan number one, FHA. This is from 2000 and what? 2015. Okay. All right. So let's go back here. Property details. So here, this tab right here is where we need to be at to pull comparables for this property. All right. So default, if market is all good and everything, yes, you can go back as far back as 1 year in comparables. But in this tight market, you can go further than 6 months into the past. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're talking about only November 21st till now. That's all we can look at for comparables. All right. And that drops it down to only 2 comparables in that area. Okay. And I haven't even, okay, here I need everything within 1 mile radius. It defaults to 0.5. So that, okay, so I got 1 mile radius. Okay. Here I like to go with the MLS. Okay. All right. So we see more properties suddenly. Sold, only sold. I only deal with sold to determine after repair value. That's it. Okay. Property class is a residential. It needs to be residential. Okay. That's why we call it comparable. So you don't want to pull up a property on the comps that's not the same as same property, you know, in terms of design and zoning, right? So single family only. Okay. All right. So we got a list here of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So these are property MLS sold within the last 6 months. So a couple of things I look at here. Okay. I can also see, because these are only MLS, I pull MLS only unless I don't see enough. If I don't see enough, then I go into public record. And if you go into public record off of the right off the bat, basically you end up with duplicates. Okay. So just MLS is perfectly fine when you have enough on the list. Enough for me is I need to see at least 10 because I'm only going to pick 5. Okay. So I like seeing 20 or more. That sounds like more like a market where money is moving. If money is moving, that's what I like, because that means I can make money. That means I have a higher chance of making money, right? If money is not moving fast enough, that makes it even that much difficult. Now, especially if this is not my zone, right? So, because we're talking virtual wholesaling, you could want to do this anywhere. So you want to make sure that there's a healthy amount of money moving around, right? So we're looking at the last 6 months. Okay, so here I have the amount, I have the days on the market, I have the bedrooms, okay, I have number of bathrooms, okay. I have square footage is really what I want to look at, because these numbers may not be so accurate. Beds and bath is not always accurate, but square footage for the most part are on point. That's basically the size of the house. So if this house is sizable enough, you can move things around, you can repartition, you can have a bedroom. But if it's too small, let's say this was like 800 square footage, we got a problem, because now we have to build out the property. Okay. So lot size, I like to see a big lot size. I'm sorry, not big lot size, about the same size of comparables. It needs to be comparable. So I'm seeing one here as 35,000 lot size. That's a whole bigger property, right? So it's probably not a fit comparable, okay? Because the bigger the lot, obviously it can mean a lot more money in the market as far as valuation is concerned. That doesn't mean it's going to get that money in the market, depending on what kind of market you're, but it means valuation wise, you have to account for that, right? Year built, I like to see about around the same year, but it's 2004. It's a newer property. A lot of these properties here were built in, I see a 2004 right next to it here. So this is by default. I think this is by default from the closest to the farthest away, all within 1 mile radius. So it really doesn't matter to me. Okay. So that's default. That's how it orders it, right? But I'm going to order based on square footage, price by square footage. Okay. I'm going to go here. I want the highest price per square footage at the top. I'll click on the column header twice, and then to order from top price per square footage, which is what PPSP SF is for. And then I order it all the way to the bottom. Okay. That's all I need to do. Then I'll go here. Let's click here, back into here. All right. So by the way, you can click this and go into each one of the details of each of the individual properties if you need to, but for the most part, you don't need to. Again, you should see enough number on this table to be able to make a determination. So again, I've just ordered it from the top price per square footage, which is $130 to $80 per square footage, right? And I think that's about all I do. Then I'm going to pick the top 5. An appraiser, a certified appraiser uses they use 3, not necessarily top 3. The 3 most comparable, that's what they use. But I'm looking at potentially fixing up this property, maybe adding square footage to it, adding value to it. Bottom line is that I want to add value to this property so I can put it back on the market. So I want to know what the highest potential that the property can get. The real highest potential is $130 per square footage, but I'm not going to be delusional. Maybe my subject property will not get that, right? So I'm going to pick not just 3 like the appraiser. I'm going to be a little bit conservative and pick the next 2 with it. And the number I am looking at is 269. Okay. That's the number right there. That's the average sale. That's the average sale. And the average price per square footage is $114 per square footage, right? And 35 days on the market if priced right. If I get delusional and I think this should be 350 just off of because I think the house is pretty, then I start having problems, okay? Because then I will start talking to cash buyers, and then they're going to look at me like I'm crazy because they're going to say, hey, that price is too high or something like that, okay? Let's see here, something here. All right. So, are we making sense, guys? Oh, okay, awesome. All right. So, does that make sense, guys? Oh, sorry. Let me take out the address from the screen. All right. So we have 269. Okay. So now let's look at that compared to the actual price point here. Now this property was sold in 2015 for $209,000. That information is actually meaningless to me. It's irrelevant to what I'm trying to do. Okay. I don't care how much you sold for. I care about what the potential is right now. Okay. So it's $269,000. That's the average based on the prices per square footage. So you can see that one of the top properties here actually says 237, but this number is not as important to me as the price per square footage, which is 114. So it looks like this is a smaller house. Yep, it's a smaller house, it's 500 square footage less. So that's why it's adjusted. You have to adjust based on the livable space. Okay. So we got $239,000. What do I do with this? How do I make an offer on this? We got a few more minutes. Let's make an offer using this, okay? So essentially, you want to go to dealestimator.com, dealestimator.com. Let me put that on the screen so you guys will find that useful. Okay, did I misspell? I did. Misspelling. There you go. So dealestimator.com will take you to the free calculator that I put there. Ricky said, this is my house. I sold it 2015. Okay, awesome, Ricky. That's a good job. Thank you so much for giving us the address. So this right here is that's the link, okay? Dealestimator.com, you can write that down. So I'm going to make an offer on this property. If I was selling it, if I was buying it right now, my based on the picture that I just saw, it looks like it's in perfect condition, right? So that doesn't mean I can't add value. I may want to add value. So I'm going to click it. This is strictly for wholesalers, okay? This tool right here is not designed for you as a fix and flipper investor. You need to do a much more elaborate estimation of the repair cost if you're going to be doing this property. So I'm going to paste that here, okay? Just go into this tool, maximum allowable offer. You paste that right here, and then here I'm going to use 65% rule because again, you need to be conservative right now in this market. Okay, in a regular market, depending on your market, you can go up on which rule you want to use. You want to use 70% or 80%, depends on how busy your market is. If it's highly competitive, people may be willing to pay up to that much. Okay, but if it's not, if you're most market, you need to stay here and probably even adjust for 5% below that because of the pandemic. Okay. So $269,000 small rehab based on the picture. I'm just going to go with the picture. So meaning I would have $13,000 budget. Okay, just in case I need to add some value or some new ideas based on the neighborhood. Some people want granite countertop. They want a different type of material. I could easily replace that. That's a property that doesn't need work. If it needs work, right, it needs update, I would throw medium rehab, and that goes up to $40,000 just based off of this is calculating based on an algorithm based on my past experience and with as well as the this number right here. Okay, the after repair value in that neighborhood. Okay, so but I'm going to go with the smaller one. Okay, so this adjust for that. My maximum allowable price, okay, that I can pay for that is $161,000, $939. That's as far as I can go. That's as far as I can go, and that's about it. Okay, but I will start with maybe $155,000. Okay, I would say, hey, what does $155,000 sound like after I've built rapport? I'm not going to throw that number at them unless I've built rapport, some kind of relationship. Make sure that I know the why and the when. I need to know why they're selling, when they need to sell before I throw that number at them. And if possible, I will make sure that they understand that I have other types of offer. If I feel like I'm too less busy and I'm talking to a person that's not very motivated, I make sure there's two other offers like seller financing, or actually listing the property for sale, things like that. But if they're motivated, if I know that they need to sell as fast as humanly possible, like tomorrow, which are the only people you need to talk to, and they have a why, like, no, I got a new job, I can't handle this property anymore, it's a headache for me, and it looks like it's going into foreclosure very soon, I think I'm running out of time, I just need to get rid of it. That's the kind of conversations you want to be having, or you want them to be saying to you, because if it's any short of that, they're going to feel like they're doing you a favor, and the conversation will go in the wrong direction. Okay. And you need to go after more leads. If you feel like, everybody wants retail, that's not true. That's not true. Most people want retail. It makes sense. That's why we look for these opportunities, because they're rare opportunities when you put them on a scale, when you put them in context compared to 350 million people in America. Yes, these are rare opportunities, but they're not that rare if you're marketing. Okay, and don't waste your time with people that are looking for retail price on their property, because they deserve it. If they're looking for retail price, they deserve retail price because they own the property. Even if they're emotionally attached to the property, that's really none of your business. Go look for the next lead that you can serve. If you can't serve them, there's no point. Okay, if there's no real problem to solve, there's no point. Is that making sense, guys? So those are the two tools that you find useful when you're coming up with comparables. Keep it that simple. Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to share with you. I may say, oh yeah, but I can add a level. Oh yeah, but I can expand the square footage, right? That's a bonus for you if you decide to do that as a fix and flipper. Okay. Price your property, evaluate the property based on the existing square footage. Okay, make your life easier. Okay, existing square footage. Right now, there's some exception. In a good market, you may look through here and you see that some properties are selling for way less. Right? You say, okay, some people are like, the least that people sold property for in this area is like if I drop this, if I click on this and click on it twice, the lowest people sold in the recent time is 208, right? It's 208 right there, right? So you may say, oh yeah, had it in a good market, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm willing to pay 208 for that to make 330, because you're going to add value to the property and make it the best property in the neighborhood, right? So for example, this square footage is about the same square footage, 2,500, right? Somebody paid 208 for this one here. So you may say, okay, maybe the lowest point in that neighborhood is 208. But right now, you need to be conservative. You need to use the math, okay? You cannot pay more than $161,000 for this property, especially if you're a wholesaler and you're locking this on the property. You need to offer, and you need to come back next month and check on them, come back the following month and check on them, and you need to have about 1,000 of them like that. That's how you build a business out of this. All right. Was that helpful, guys? Was that helpful? Let me hear it. Please let me hear it to make me feel better, to toot my horn. Let me know if that makes sense. So dealestimator.com is free calculators over there, and Empire Big Data is the software that I just used to pull the comparables. Use it to pull data. You can have access to all the data you need to really get this going nationwide. Okay. You can also use that CRM. You can store your information there. You can add notes to it. You can play around with it. It's like a one-stop shop where you can run the whole business and stay consistent. You can even have, like I showed you yesterday, you can even have, I think it was yesterday or 2 episodes ago, you can even have these properties emailed to you once they hit your criteria. You can save the criteria and things like that. All right. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions for me? Any questions? By the way, is Anthony here today? Anthony, are you here today? You can try these on your own later at www.empirepbigdata.com. Okay. The free calculator is at dealestimator.com. Okay. If you're brand new into this game, go download the free book at smartrealestatewholesaling.com. The options to get the paperback, the physical book sent to you, like this one is also there. Okay. And this one is also there, Real Estate Money Secrets. You can also get it for free PDF if that's what you desire. All right. If you want to learn digital marketing with this stuff, 11dayschallenge.com. That's where you want to go. For a limited time, you can get in on that program, 11 Days Challenge, and you can set up a whole 6-figure operation. Okay. If you want me to help you personally, okay, you want me to coach you personally on this game, it's myEmpirePRO.com/go virtual. You gotta attend the 3 hours workshop first. Okay. All right. And what else do we got? All right. Yeah. Last but not least, don't forget to join the group. I don't think that's the last. Is that the last? Yeah. Don't forget to join the group at facebook.com/group/D2D Nation. That's a group that has only 2 people in there right now. And I haven't been promoting it properly. But I figured this is a community. We just come here and hang out and talk every day. So it's fine as well. But if you want to join over there, please feel free to join. The other group that I have, Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, is dead because of algorithms. I was not active. So again, it goes dead if you're not active with the way these algorithms work. So we have about 400 plus people in there or something like that. 200 plus. I don't remember. All right. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Sorry, not thumbs nail. Give it a thumbs up. Okay. If you're watching this as a recording later, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. I think we'll always have about another additional like 20 people come back and watch replay later. So thank you so much. Share it. Let everybody know we're hanging out here. If you have any questions, drop them. I will address them as soon as we get to it. That's it. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.